Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with yet another updated complete guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at Xayah, who I think is one of the strongest ADCs on the patch. Obviously we've already covered that Varus is the strongest, but I think Xayah is kind of up there as well. Of course, I will be releasing my tier list for the patch after this video. It'll be the following video after this one. But before we get into any of it, of course don't forget to check out Xayah's basic guide. I'll link up in the cards above for her skills, leveling order, tips and tricks, as well as a couple of combos. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So this one is honestly pretty straightforward. So first up, we're going to start with the Gluttonous Greaves. No real surprise there. Pretty much the best boots on almost every ADC. Then almost the best first item on every ADC, Bloodthirster, AD, Physical Vam, Crit, extra stats when you're high on health. And then of course we know that nowadays we don't go for IE, so what else do we go instead? We go for Navori Quick Blades and Magnetic Blaster. So the Quick Blades gives you a lower cooldown whenever you crit, which when you have the Quick Blades itself should be about half of the time. And this of course is going to lead to faster cooldowns on especially your W and your E, which are the two more important spells to get your attack speed, as well as of course to get that feather pullback. Now, Magnetic Blaster gives you additional range as well as extra attack speed on top of course, the crit, which is going to make up for not having lethal tempo, which we'll talk about in a second. Then for our final crit item, we're going to go for more reminder for the armor pen as well as the grievous wounds. Pretty straightforward one here. Last item is going to be quite not variable, but it's going to be quite situational. So most of the time, honestly, nowadays, it's honestly Maul majority of the time. Maul is an amazing item. Gives you, a lot of AD and, magic resist and such. However, you do have other options, like for example, you can go for Sterex, even Black Cleaver in certain matchups, Guardian Angel, things like that. I mean, even IE as the last item is an option, but I just don't really quite recommend it. I don't really think it's that good. For the runes, you want to go for Conqueror, because Conqueror you can actually stack up on Xayah pretty easily. You attack, pretty quickly. You can, use your Q and your E as well as your ult to stack Conqueror as well. So you stack it up real quick, and you don't really need the attacks because you will realize that with your W, the cooldown reduction on Navori as well as with Magnetic Blaster, you have more than enough attack speed as well as alacrity in the runes. So Conqueror is just simply better. It's more efficient of a rune, gives you AD and Omnivam. Brutal because you're an ADC that auto attacks a lot. Giant Slayer is still generally better, even though Coup de Grace did already get buffed, but Giant Slayer is just better. I like to go for Bone Plating here, just for the anti-burst in both laning as well as in the later stages of the game. And for the spells, I go for Flash together with Ghost like 95% of the time. Only very, very rarely do I ever take Exhaust, because most of the time when you're playing Xayah, you're going to be into a team that wants to jump on you anyway, which is normally the main time you play Xayah. So most of the time I still will go for Ghost, because most of the people who want to jump onto you are normally like assassins or fighters, and they can be kited, so Ghost is generally better than Exhaust. But with all that said, let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now let's take a look at our gameplay itself. Okay, so as usual, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll, of course, be sure to address them. Now, this one's a pretty interesting match, because basically, in this particular match, we have our top laner, mid laner, and jungler all flaming each other. So basically, I'm just going to give you a slight preview of what happens, because it doesn't really affect our lane at all. Basically, the Diana roams and kills the Yasuo a couple of times, so Yasuo starts flaming Orianna, because Orianna doesn't ping, and then Orianna starts flaming Yasuo back, and eventually Lee Sin starts getting into the mix as well, and when we get a little bit later on into the game. So it's a pretty rough one where your whole team is kind of blaming each other, but we're not going to talk too much about that. Let's talk about what's happening in the lane. So here we have a Leona with Xayah. Doesn't really care too much about who her support is. Of course, she does have some synergy with Rakan, so that's kind of ideal, but aside from that, Engager or Enchanter doesn't really bother Xayah all that much. Xayah was very, very self-reliant with that ulti and with the feather pullback. A lot of carry potential just on your own. Yeah, we get double rooted here. And Leona manages to go in onto the Lux. Lux gets chain CC'd. I flash forward. Ignite is onto the Lux. One more auto is enough to get the kill. Now we're kind of cutting away from the MF. We have a couple of feathers on the ground. MF is going very aggressive because Diana was obviously behind her. But I'm able to get the pullback, finish off the MF with one more auto. And now we're running away from the Diana. The issue is that me and Leona don't really have cooldown, so we can't really fight the Diana. But Diana stuck around for like a second longer. I think our cooldowns will come back up, and we might actually be able to kill her with the Leona stun into the Xayah pull. But wisely, Diana realizes that, that's not a good idea to stick around, and she does hightail it out of there. So overall, very good start to the game. Technically speaking there, we got a pick onto Lux, then we got ganked. and we did manage to get a kill on MF as well, who kind of got baited by her Diana and kind of stepped up a little bit too far before Diana was really in position. So we overall get a kill on both the bot laners, and we are going to put ourselves very far ahead just a mere 1 minute into the game itself. Here, huge wave is crashing in. Leona goes in onto the Lux, but unfortunately I run straight into the Lux root. And also there's a huge wave under tower, so you can see that the wave is dealing a lot of damage to me, so not really the best fight to take there, even if I didn't get rooted. But I do think that that's a confirmed kill if I don't get rooted, so just that MF might possibly trade back because of how much minion damage I would take. But either way, maybe it's for the best that that root hit me, because probably trading wouldn't be the best thing to do at this point, considering the lead that I have. So double first strike on the enemies here. We remove both of their wards that they warded in there. Leona gets rooted, takes a bunch of damage, has to pop that W. I try to get the root onto the Lux, but it doesn't quite work out. So here I'm just trying to clear out the wave safely. Lux, of course, tries to land another binding, doesn't quite land. Here Lee Sin is hovering a little bit, so I'm trying to play a little bit more aggressive, and Leona's level 5 as well, so we do have that ulti for the pick potential. Trying to find a fight here, especially because our jungler is hovering. Loot kit spawns, and Leona's just going to grab that from inside the bush. Leona goes in with the ulti. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually hit anybody, not even with the slow, so it doesn't quite work out. Leona ulti has kind of been wasted. Lee Sin's not even here anymore. And yeah, goes a little bit sideways there, but no big deal. So we're gonna back over here and just grab some items. So honestly, I still personally think that Xayah is the best ADC to play against you know, enemy team members who want to go in on you. So I know I said Varus is the best ADC, and yes, if you don't know what ADC to play, I still think Varus is the best ADC to play, like, for almost all situations. But if you're in a match where there's a lot of engage onto you, Xayah then becomes like the best ADC. So generally, I would say Xayah is like a bottom of S plus tier or top of S tier kind of champion, just because she's a very strong champion, but only if she's against a good enemy team comp. When I say good enemy team comp, I mean, for example, look at this. So Renekton wants to run at me and stun me, right? Lissandra wants to jump at me with her claw and probably ult me. Diana wants to jump in on me and ult. So basically the common trend here, as we land another pick onto the Lux, is that all three of them want to really get on top of me. And whenever you have champions that want to get on top of Xayah, that is pretty much always going to be a good thing for Xayah, because this basically means that it's very easy for you to just land your root, because there's only one of two things that can happen. Either number one, they go in on you and you can land your root very easily because they're on top of you, or number two, they get scared of your feathers and your root and they don't go anywhere near you, in which case you still win, because it means that they have completely no threat on you and they're basically no longer a champion. So either way, you win. So sort of like a dream case scenario for Xayah would be honestly almost like a match like this. So imagine like you have Renekton top who wants to go in on you, you have Lissandra mid who wants to go in on you, you have Diana jungle who wants to go in on you. Maybe you can swap out, like, let's say if MF was like a Samira and, like, let's say Lux was a Nautilus, for example. Like, literally all 5 members want to go in you. That's kind of like the dream kind of matchup for Xayah. But honestly, 3 out of 5 is already a lot of people who want to go in on you, and not many ADCs can deal with that. Like, if you play Varus in this kind of matchup, unless you're obscenely fed, you're probably gonna die to Lissandra, Diana, and or Renekton at some point in the game, because it's almost impossible to survive like 3 people who want to jump in on you unless they troll and use everything on your teammates instead of you. So that one's kind of like just a question of whether they can you know, execute it well or not. But honestly, with Xayah, even if they try to all go for you, of course you probably still could die if all 3 of them go in on you at the same time in a coordinated manner. But this is solo queue, that probably won't happen. And even if all 3 of them go in on you, you can use your, let's say Diana goes in on me, I can use my ult, and then Lissandra dashes in on me, I can use my QSS, and then we can root them down, you know, things like that. And we only really need to take the Renekton damage, which is not nothing, but it's way better than if I was a Varus there and get hit by everything and I die before Renekton even shows up to the party, you know, something like that. So anyways, we're doing pretty good. We are 3-0 with the Bloodthirster completed. You can see that Yasuo has been dying to some ganks and he's 1-3, and he's getting pissed at the Orianna right now, who just has been minding her own business and kind of farming, but has not been doing a good job whatsoever about pinging, simply because he hasn't pinged it out. So here you can see I get caught by the Lux Diana combo, and here I actually almost survive with the help of my ult, and Leona actually almost saves me here. But you saw there, basically, I got hit by the Lux Binding. I ulted immediately, which meant the Diana ulti didn't actually hit me. And then I got the feathers down, and I actually was able to root the Diana. And if that Q cooldown did not come back up, or if I dodged it somehow, I actually would have survived there, which is kind of funny. And there's literally no other ADC in the game that would even come close to that. Like, any other ADC at that point, literally any other ADC would just die instantly right there, unless I'm like Samira and I preemptively W the Lux Q, which is not gonna happen, let's face it. So here I'm back from the grave, and I actually joined the fight here. I get 2 kills, and I'm chasing down the MF. Now, I'm not gonna reach her because we got slowed by her E, but yeah, we come back in the very long extended fight, because my team eventually makes it there. And we actually get 2 kills back. So overall, we died, and we gave her a shutdown, which is 200 gold, which is not nothing, but we got back, you know, some kills. Now honestly, MF has only 1 kill, but she's farming really well. Make it 2 kills, but she's farming really well because her goal is like only 500 less than me, and I thought I would have a bigger lead over her at this point. But you can see, looking at the state of the game, Renekton has a huge lead, like 2k lead over Yasuo. He's just been killing him on repeat. Diana versus Lee Sin. Diana has like a almost 2k gold lead over Lee Sin, and Lissandra has like almost a 2k gold lead, not almost 2k, maybe 1k plus gold lead over the Orianna. So it's not looking very good for us, and MF is nearly the same goal as me somehow. Yeah, and Leona barely is ahead of Lux. So as a team, as a whole, you can see we're losing by about 5k gold, which is not too hot at all. But while Xayah is not a typical hyper carry what you would think of, and honestly I don't consider Xayah really a hyper carry, but I do think that Xayah is, for me, has always been one of those champions that when you reach kind of the late game, all you need to do is really just play safe, you know, pop your goals, kite around the fights. If you don't play aggressive and you don't just run in at the enemy team like what you would do if you're a Kai'Sa or a Tristana, if you just play at the back line and not overly aggressive unless you can get a free pick for sure, you pretty much will always force the enemy teams to walk into you, and that's kind of what you want. And then you can get the root down, and you can carry the fight if you play Xayah properly. So I'm not too worried at this point because I am in a really good spot. I am 5-1, and I am in a position where I can carry. So I know that if I do my role correctly, you know, this is still a perfectly winnable game. Especially because I haven't really seen Lissandra, you know, Renekton, or Diana for that matter, really try to focus me. So here you can see Renekton gets rooted down. I get the shutdown onto him because his team doesn't really protect him well. Diana here gets rooted as well. I get the kill on her as well. And now we're really running them down with the help of the Ghost. Flash forward to get the kill on MF. Unfortunately, I ran into a root, but I am able to pop the ulti here. Here I actually got a quadra kill, but unfortunately I randomly start tanking the tower. I'm not sure if that was a Lissandra passive. No, it wasn't, because no one else died on my team. I'm really not too sure how I died there, but you can see, like, you know, basically I kind of did my job by staying like a little bit behind, and then I focused the Renekton, killed Renekton first, and then at that point it's time for me to go aggressive because the enemy team is all low and they're running for the hills. That's when I go in on the Diana, who's caught out position as well, and I flash in onto the 1 HP MF. Now the unfortunate part about that is that MF didn't die in 1 auto. She actually lived on 1 HP. And that made things a little bit awkward. If she just died immediately, I think the situation would have been a lot better for me, because she wouldn't have been able to DPS my team when I was in the ulti. But you know, overall, we still get a quadra kill. We do end up dying, but you know, I consider that a huge win considering the state of the game. So here, we're actually trying to set a trap for Lissandra, but here Lee Sin kicks her away. And here now Renekton is onto me, so I'm gonna have to kind of you know, kite away. Now Lissandra ults herself. I'm trying to find an opportunity to kill her, but of course you know that when she ults herself, it's basically a stasis, buys her enough time for Renekton to come over and kill me and save her, and I cop another death right there. Now honestly, that was a bit that one was kind of a miscommunication, where Lee Sin's intention of kicking Lissandra away was to allow us to all just run away, but me and Leona had other thoughts, because we thought that if she just face checks us, which is what she was doing by herself, it's literally a free kill. Like, Leona hits any kind of CC onto her, she's just dead, because she can't ult herself when she's stuck in CC, and I can burst her down in like 1 second flat. So like, we were just like thinking that that was a free kill, but he kicked her away and ends up, you know, basically baiting us to stick around. And essentially, in the long story cut short, is we were on different pages. I could see where he was coming from, but he basically ended up getting me killed indirectly, which is a tad unfortunate. But I don't really blame him though, because I do understand his logic, which is that we shouldn't be fighting here. We should just be resetting, and you know, he just wanted to kick her away. So anyways, Here, we're just gonna maintain our farm and farm up the jungle camps here. We're almost at the magnetic blaster, which is why we are hardcore farming. We get the magnetic blaster, 3 completed items for us at this point, and we actually have the most gold in the game at the current moment. So again, we want to try very hard to stay in the backline and carry, especially now that we've took a couple more deaths. We know that any team can kill us, whether they if they're just a little bit coordinated, and that's not really what we want. Here, Leona goes in. Unfortunately, I'm kind of getting caught out a little bit. Fortunately, no one is really focusing me. Even you can see here, the Renekton is not focusing me. He's actually focusing the Orianna, which is good for me. And here, Diana, yeah, you're not gonna escape this one, buddy. Down she goes. And yeah, I can't believe that no one tried to focus me at that situation. Now here, Lux trying to land the binding. I'm able to dodge to the side. I flash in, finish off the MF. Now I'm just auto-taking down the Lux. She goes into stasis. I'm not quite able to catch her. Now, Lissandra ults me, and I'm actually able to kill her right before I die, which is kind of surprising. I thought I just messed up there by overextending for the Lux, but turns out I do way more damage than even I expect, and I actually kill Lissandra, trading kind of 1-for-1 there. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a 1-for-4 trade, so that's a huge team fight win for my team, and we actually kind of narrowed the gap between the two teams to like only about 1k gold. So we're now kind of almost even in terms of overall team goal now. Orianna's somewhat even with Lissandra, and Lee Sin's now less than 1k behind the Diana. Of course, Yasuo's still kind of completely feeding, is far behind Renekton, and Yasuo's going for a weird build where he has like Wit's End first item into Heartsteel second item, which I'm not quite sure what the plan is over there. But anyways, here you can see that we have him getting caught out by the enemy team. However, here we spot an opportunity because he's actually surviving very long because he's a tank. So here, we actually come over to kind of try to save him, and we actually get a pick onto the Lux. Now we're going onto the Renekton, we get Renekton as well. Now unfortunately here, I get caught into the MF ulti plus the Diana ulti, and I end up dying. Now, in the grand scheme of things, the Quadra kill comes through for the Diana. Lee Sin trying his best not to give the Penta, running for his life, getting auto-attacked down, but the Penta kill does come through, and yeah, Diana is incredibly fed after that Penta kill. She went from 3 kills to like 8 kills instantly right there. And yeah, honestly that one was on me because when I was getting engaged on by Diana, I kind of panicked and used my QSS instead of using my ulti. Like, QSS does remove the CC, but I need my ulti to prevent myself from getting hit by the ult from both Diana and from MF. So I kind of panicked there and pressed the wrong button. So that was completely on me. If I actually ulted there and dodged the Diana and the MF ult, I think that fight would have been completely different because I had my Bloodthirster as well to lifesteal some of my health back, things like that. But hey, it is what it is. Mistakes do happen from time to time. And yeah, so now we're just farming up the jungle, getting more gold. We want to get to our Molar Mine as quickly as possible, and then we can definitely go for Maw, seeing as how fed the Diana actually is. And also, we have other fed members on the enemy team like Lissandra and Lux, who are also magic damage. So we want to get that Maw, after we complete our final crit item. Honestly, there's an argument to go for Maw right now because I think actually Maw gives a very high value. So maybe we should actually got Maw earlier. Maybe that's another mistake. Here, the TX is not really getting protected by the enemy team, and we actually get rid of the T-Hex. So here, I actually ult because I'm getting a little bit caught. I go unstoppable, I pull back the feathers, I'm running for my life because Lissandra is going to kill me when she gets out of the ulti, and I'm able to actually escape with my life, and Ori is able to finish off the kill onto the MF. Now we're trying to defend our inhibitors. Top inhib and mid inhib are kind of under siege. I spot the huge wave at top. I'm trying to stop them from pushing. Renekton tries to go in on me, does get the stun on me, doesn't actually do that much damage. I root him under the tower. Diana's now going in on me, tanks the Nexus. I get ulted by Lissandra and I do end up dying. However, Lissandra doesn't look like she's going to be able to get out of this one. Gets stunned by the Leona and eventually does die to Lee Sin. Now Lee Sin is running after the Lux, who is the last member standing. Nice dodge on the binding. Is catching up to the Lux, misses a point blank Q and protobolts into nothing, kicks the Lux and eventually does secure the kill. Don't think the kick was necessary, but I guess the cooldown is slow enough, fast enough that it shouldn't matter too much. Now Lee Sin going for the Ice Drake, which doesn't really matter all that much because each team already has one Drake, so there's no soul in this game. But Always nice to get an objective on the map. Almost dies to the MF, has the flash. Don't really think that Ice Drake is even worth Lee Sin's flash, but you know, it is what it is. We managed to get our 100% crit for item build together with the QSS as well, and now we're trying to build towards our Maw. As I said, I think Maw probably should have been picked up earlier. Would help us a ton against the AP on their team. But yeah, so here we once again let Lee Sin take the buff, and we get the buff share. And looks like another fight is gonna happen down there with Orianna getting engaged on. She tries to flash away, but it's not happening. They are eventually gonna catch her, and Lee Sin can't really help as well. Now, the thing is that they actually sent 4 people down there to stop her, so we can actually see them on the map now. They're actually pushing in. Now they're heading up towards us, but they're not recalling. You can see them on the red buff area on that ward. So here myself, Leona, and Yasuo are actually just all pushing because there's no reason to stop. Now they're trying to stop Yasuo here. Diana takes the Hex Gate up, and I'm just focusing the mid tower. Yasuo's going in on the enemy bot lane, and we actually grab the mid tower, and we can actually rotate over to help him. So we pop the ghost, we go in, we start auto-attacking him down. They realize they're in trouble. We kill both of them. Renekton comes in. I go unstoppable to prevent him from stunning me. I don't even think he tries, but we pop hysterics. Lysandra has to ult herself because she's in trouble. We get hit by the Diana, which doesn't actually do that much damage. We ult to lay down the feathers, pull back the feathers, and basically we kill everyone at this point. Diana has nowhere to run, and she does end up going down, and basically that's the game. All we gotta do now is to push in the last wave and end the game that way. So here we got the mid wave, super mini wave coming in. Yasuo is going for that top lane. Awkwardly, the next mid wave spawns right as I was about to try to focus the Nexus. So I'm gonna quickly clear that one first. But there we have it. There is the end of the game. You can kind of see how good Xayah is into these kind of team comps. But I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.